good, everyone? It's your boy, Retain Fallows Coach and Certified Personal Trainer. Today, we have an amazing client transformation success interview. So feel free to introduce yourself and give a quick background about yourself, and then we can head into the questions.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Allan. I worked with Ray for the last 3 months and yeah, just really had a good time. Just learned a lot about fitness in general and think Ray really helped me set my standards higher. So that's, one of the things I appreciated the most. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this interview. I feel like I made some good progress, so I'm happy to share.
Awesome, man. So it's like first question I have is, it's like in terms of, it's like where we started, in our journey, it's like, can you tell, it's like everyone, kind of like where you kind of like started and kind of like things that you were struggling with most in terms of your physical, it's like mental, it's like whatever it is that you were kind of like struggling with
Yeah.
before working together?
Yeah, I think, I was always pretty conscious of my fitness and I would always, I always had a gym membership. I would always be going somewhat regularly, but I think I didn't have a structure or discipline in place. So even before starting with Ray, I was on like a good like 3 to 4 times a week, but it would be pretty inconsistent. I would, a lot of times I'd be like, too tired today, or like, don't have time today. Or when I do go to the gym, I'll be like, what should I work on today? Today is chest day. Okay, what am I doing for chest? I'll try a few different things. Maybe I'm not quite hitting like, 3 sets of 12, like I have been through race program. So just yeah, like I said, discipline and structure were the two things I was lacking. I knew that going to the gym was important, and I did find myself at the gym regularly. Um, but I think a lot of times I didn't really know what to do. And I would always be looking up like workout programs, like when I'm at the gym, and try to follow a new one and try different ones. But yeah, I think that was probably my biggest struggle.
Hmm. Gotcha. So in terms of, it's like it's like the results that you've achieved, like and the progress that you've made, what kind of progress or, results did you see, in these like 90 days that we've been working together?
Yeah, I think first of all, the workout plan that you set for me was definitely challenging. It was volume heavy for sure, and the first week I was like, wow, this is like like kicking my butt. Like I could not keep up. I was like exhausted afterwards. I think it also gave me so that gave me a sense of just a higher standard and just pushing myself way harder than I was before. Really putting more focus on my form, just going slow for every rep, holding it at the bottom, squeezing, and then also the wait time in between. The wait time in between was a big thing because I would, do a set and go on my phone and like wait, who knows however many minutes. It would be sometimes two, sometimes five, and then do another set. But I think the timer feature was really helpful to just really stick to my 60 or 90-second rest in between. Um, and then yeah, form, like, going more regularly, just knowing what to work on. So I think just overall my workout discipline has gotten better.
Nice. Awesome. And in terms of, it's like joining the program and all of these different things, obviously you're like in pretty good shape already, all of these different things, it's like what made you kind of like want to invest into doing coaching?
Yeah, so although I have been pretty active most of my life, I've still yet to get to a point where I'm like, this is the fitness that I want, or like this is the look or the strength or the level that I want to be at. And I feel like I've set this for the last 4 to 5 years. Like this summer is the summer, or like this year, like I'm gonna get jacked. And I think when I like paused and thought about it, I was like, you know what? I've been saying this for so many years, and I still haven't gotten quite there. Maybe I just need another push to like kind of take me to the next level. So
Mm.
it's really that push that I was looking for, and then I needed to find somebody that has results, has experience. Looking at you like you're very muscular, and I'm like, okay, this guy is pretty big. I would like to work with a guy who is definitely much bigger than me and knows what he's doing. So yeah.
Awesome. And I guess, it's like it's like before joining the program, it's like were there any things that almost caused you to not join the program? Whether it's like finances, whether it's like time, whether it's like if this was like kind of like the right moment for you, because you probably have like a very busy life and all these different things, but was there something that almost caused you not to join the program?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and we've talked about it for a while too. Like I know you've been running this fitness program and we've kept in touch through like, more than a year throughout your program journey. Um, I think one was like me thinking I don't need it. It's like why would I pay for something when everything's online? I can find the workout program, like there's apps out there. Like I think the mindset of I don't need it was the biggest thing.
Mhm.
And then I like one day realized I think I was listening to a podcast and they said like whoever says I don't need it is like the people who need it the most. Some no one doesn't need anything. There's always a learning opportunity. There's always some value that you can get out of something.
Yeah.
I think that was one thing. Like, and then I did get a lot of value from it, so I think I did need it after all. And now
Mhm.
that I reflect on it, it was good. Two, yeah, price is definitely, always going to be a factor. But when the financial commitment is really important because that's what gets your skin in the game. So if it's a cheap program, it's easy to not do it or overlook it. If it's somewhat sizable, then it's like, okay, you're gonna push yourself and like make sure you get it done. So, as long as you can get over that initial hurdle, I think everything's a really good investment. And then schedule wise, I think it helped that I've been a lot more flexible with my schedule lately. Like I have the time to really invest into my fitness and going to the gym. So that is really helpful. Not to say that even if you're busier, you don't have time for the gym because everyone can make it work and make it fit into their schedules.
Mm.
Uh, but I'm definitely thankful to be in a position where I had some time on my hands to try something like this. So.
Awesome. So I guess, it's like mentioning, it's like the value of the program, what would you say is kind of like the most valuable thing that you've learned or you've gotten from doing the program so far?
Yeah, I think the form check videos were definitely helpful. I was a lot more active with those in the beginning, and I think form just matters a lot. Like you just end up hurting yourself. So just getting a check on that was helpful. And I know I got like a special VIP treatment, but the in-person workout with you was really helpful because just seeing the level that you push yourself, like how much longer you squeeze and hold at the bottom versus like I think I'm squeezing and I see you squeezing. I'm like, okay, that's actually a squeeze.
Yeah.
And, even if it's not in person, we can see that through your videos. So the videos that you post and, I think I pay attention to your videos a lot more as your client versus before. Because before, I might just pass through it, but now that I'm like working with you, I would actually thoroughly watch your videos and like use it as like a guiding tool. So I guess your resources, your experience, that has been a second thing. Um, and and I think the weekly check-ins are actually really helpful. So just knowing that like the accountability. So the weekly check-ins, the two weekly check-ins that I get, and I'm just a person who won't like ignore you. So I always respond to you and
Yeah.
always give you the answers. And then anytime I post a story, knowing that you're gonna repost it on your profile it's a little encouraging. It's like
Yeah.
someone looking out for you, and it's like I know that Ray is gonna repost my story because he's watching my stories and he like knows whether I'm at the gym or not. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, so that's the accountability part. Yeah.
Awesome. And I guess, it's like leading into that, it's like, how is your experience working with me as your coach? And feel free to share the goods, the bads, and, I guess, it's like ways that I can improve as a coach as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've already said a lot of the good things, just you're very like you push at the same time you're considerate. You're not like too pushy. You know, you understand that we all have our own lives, but you follow up and you know, sometimes if I don't respond that day, you send me that like question mark react, or you know, send me a bump message. So I think those are really good. It gets you to, you know, I think the follow up is good. Um, what else? You know, I mean, just everything I've said so far, I've said a lot of good things about you already. So yeah, just overall, like I know, I think more importantly, like I've seen how far you've come in your own like business too, and you've been at this for 2, 3 years, and I've seen you from even like when you had your very first client and thinking like, man, where's this guy gonna go? To now you got there, you're like successful, you have a lot of clients. So it's like even just that motivation outside of fitness, like that's what I wanted to be closer to. And
Mhm.
you know, I mentioned this before. It was your positive attitude, your mindset. It was your positive attitude that sold me the program, not even like the fitness. Fitness was like an awesome like
Yeah,
vibe. Um, but yeah, so I think overall you're just a good guy to be around, good energy. You have a lot of and you know insightful things to say. So that was, I would say that's the good. Any feedback I could give you? I think the only feedback that I could think of is and it's a specific thing. I think the very first day or the very first week when I signed up with you,
mhm,
I think I wanted a little bit more of like a direction on the first day. I was like, I remember thinking the very first day, like thinking, so what happens now? Like, what now? Where do I get started? So I think maybe just for someone who's starting this brand new journey and they just made this, you know, possibly pretty sizable investment, uh, maybe just that confidence that like you signed up for the right thing and you're in the
yeah,
right program like early on first thing.
mhm,
And confidence did come to me throughout. Like when I started getting your weekly things and when I started kind of getting the hang of the routine, I was like, okay, this is good.
yeah,
Uh, I guess just the way to improve even more is don't give your customers like even a day to go through that uncertainty whether they
yeah,
signed up for anything or not. Like from day one, if you can be like, all right, like here's all the things. And you know, I had the onboarding checklist that you gave me.
yeah,
I think I thought that you would maybe like check up on it or follow up or see that it was done.
mhm,
So I think this is feedback I actually wanted to give you like 2 months ago, and
yeah.
I just been forgetting to give it to you, so I'm telling you this now. Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. We've actually been working on that, it's like the onboarding and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's like really appreciate you sharing that because I feel like, it's like we don't want to give an opportunity for someone to think, it's like, oh man, it's like, I don't know how this experience is gonna go. Did I make the right decision? Right? Because, it's like obviously you've seen value from it. So I don't even want to give someone, a glimpse of, it's like that they made the wrong choice. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with anything, onboarding is super important. It's like that crucial time period where you have high energy and then you want to ride through that momentum,
Yeah.
instead of, you know, having to kind of build them up. Like if you lose them in the beginning, it might be hard to bring them back.
Oh,
So
for sure. Yeah, just got to keep that momentum going.
exactly.
But yeah, it's like I guess, it's like in terms of like the financial investment, it's like why do you feel like it was worth it for you specifically?
Um, if I didn't have this program, I don't know if I would be where I am today. You know, even just the progress I made in the past 3 months. You know, or it's like actually no, let me rephrase that. Because looking at the progress I've made in the last 3 months, that already makes the financial investment like worth it. Maybe I could have gone there without you and without the program too. Sure. I'll never know, but
Yeah.
I'm here for sure already, and I think it's largely due to the investment. So I'll give credit to the investment. Like there's clearly a result and there's clearly like progress. So that allows me to say, look, yes, this investment was definitely worth it. And yeah, like I touched on it already. I signed up for a gym where the membership was like $10 a month, super cheap, and there I didn't go for a 6 month period because I'm not losing much. versus like if I sign up for a little bit more expensive gym that's nicer, like I'm committed. I don't want to pay for something and just let that go to waste. So there is really that importance of having your skin in the game. I'll say skin in the game like all day. That is like the
Yeah,
biggest thing investment. And yeah, I mean, like I think you're definitely worth it. You have the value, you have experience, you put in the time, and and there was definitely a period of time in the beginning where I'm like, I paid this money to Ray, like I'm gonna make sure like I get his time and send him form check videos every day. Like
yeah,
I I made sure to get my value out of it. So it's really up to the client to put in the work to make that investment worth it.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's actually the client can make the investment worth it or not. It's up to them. It's your services are there, your value is there. Is the client take getting the most out of what they can.
Yeah, like I feel like that's one thing that I really loved about you too, is it's like you were just like, dude, I want this, I want to learn more, I want to grow more. It's like I want you to keep on looking at these forum videos, and you weren't lazy with it because you were like, dude, I gotta get this. But like I love that because it's like I'm actually providing you value and you actually want to learn, right? Because like for people that don't want to learn, they're not gonna do it, right? They're not gonna ask questions, they don't want to do all this stuff, but I could tell that you were someone that wanted to learn, wanted to grow, wanted to develop, right? In all aspects. And you were taking advantage of that, which was great, right? Because the more you ask, it's like the more you're gonna basically receive, right? So definitely saw that, go-getter mentality on your end as well. So, like that's why, it's like you got the results that you did, right? Because, it's like you took action, you didn't ghost, you were continuously staying consistent, disciplined, and you were just like one of the most disciplined people like I've seen, like inside the program for sure. You know, it's like even with your like daily like habit tracker and all that stuff too, it's like just, being a man of like discipline, being a man of habit, and it's like that's gonna take you to new heights for sure.
Yeah, and I think when people improve just one aspect of their life, which in our case is fitness,
Yeah,
like the other all the other parts of life just naturally follow with too. So I think me starting the habit tracker and discipline like mostly came from like our fitness program too.
yeah,
And I think honestly, the Slight Edge book that you recommend, that book has been really powerful for me too. So I think even that as a resource was really cool. And I wouldn't have known about the book until you told us to get it in the onboarding doc.
yeah.
So that was another awesome part about the program. Just a random book that you recommend that you happen to like that also was really meaningful for me too. So
Yeah, man. It's like I always tell people all the time, it's like one book, one idea, one relationship, whatever it is, it can truly change the trajectory of your life, right? It's like I truly believe that because it happened in my life, right? So it's just like just pouring back and it's just like helping, it's like other guys, it's like achieve the same things, you know. But yeah, man, it's like in terms of like the last question that I kind of want to ask you today is, it's like I guess, it's like what kind of words of encouragement would you give to someone, it's like that's kind of like on the fence of kind of like joining the program?
they just gotta do it. They just gotta pull the trigger. I think the hardest part is pulling the trigger. One just trust that Ray's program is worth it and he has the right experience, the right knowledge to help you. Two, pull the trigger, like just get it done. It's not a significant amount that'll make you go entirely broke. And if you can't afford it, maybe save up for it, but it's definitely like reasonable and worth the value. And then three, after you pull the trigger, you got to take advantage of it. Like I'm sure you've had clients that, did the program and like maybe just ghosted or dropped out of it. It's up to you to make the investment worth it. It's Ray's not gonna scam you. He's here to like help you out as long as you take advantage of it. So, one, Ray's worth it. Two, pull the trigger. Three, make sure you get the most out of your investment. And 3 months is a long enough time where you'll see like good results. Like it's 1 month is way too short. 6 month could feel a little long. 3 months is a perfect timeline. So yeah, it's a very good like trial period for sure. and you'll see good results.